find the limit if it exists. So here we got limit of x cubed times cosine 5 over x as x tends to 0. So x is very, very close to 0. If we try to see what exact value, just direct substitution. This is 0 cubed, just 0, times cosine 5 over 0. Okay, 5 over 0 is undefined. If we go from right side, it will be very, very big number. If x goes to 0 from left side, it will be very, very small number. I mean, it's negative but very large number, means small. In fact, there is no finite value. We know that 0 times a finite value. If we have a finite value, 0 times finite value is 0. But this one, when x goes to 0, because x can approach to 0 from right side or left side, cosine of kind of undefined, so we don't have a finite value, so we cannot find the limit directly. So it's not 0. Then whenever cosine and sine are involved, what we know about them, I mean, they are good. The good thing about sine and cosine of anything or sine of anything is always in between -1 and 1. So we know that for a fact. Okay, when we have sine of any angle, that is at most 1 and at least -1. Same thing for cosine. Cosine of any angle, that's at most 1, at least -1. Let's look at here and then try to squeeze. I mean, we can squeeze this cosine in between -1 and 1. Okay, and then we will have fixed values. So we're going to use squeeze theorem. So cosine of 5 over x is at most 1, at least -1. Okay. Now we have x cubed in this expression. So let's multiply each side. There are 3 sides. Let's multiply each side by x cubed. Then -1x cubed, x cubed, x cubed times cosine 5 over x cubed times 1. Okay. Now to evaluate this limit, take limit x tends to 0. So in each side, I mean each part, there are 3. So let's take the limit. So limit x going to 0 of this -x cubed is less than equal to x going to 0 of x cubed cosine 5 over x less than equal to limit x going to 0 of x cubed. Okay. I mean, we don't know. This one is to be determined, right? That's the question here. But what we know here is, I mean, -1, the x cubed negative can be pulled outside. But when x is 0, this is 0 cubed. So this one is 0. And this one is also 0 cubed. So this limit, so let me copy here. Okay, I'm just being lazy. Copy this. This limit is in fact squeezed between 0 and 0. This limit will be at most 0 and at least 0. That means this limit is exactly 0. Okay, so this implies the desired limit, what we are trying to find, limit of x going to 0 of x cubed cosine 5 over x is 0. Okay, from the squeeze theorem. Okay, final.